While I was out today, I ended up getting a new pump for the 2x2 fertilizer, a transfer pump for a fuel tank that I'm going to put in one of the pickups, and then I've got to put a handful of tools together too so that we can get them into one of the pickups here. It seems like the service truck is always busy someplace else, and it'd be handy to have a set of tools thrown together here quick. So we're going to go ahead and get that pump on the fertilizer truck that is sitting right in beside me here, behind me that is, and get a fuel tank going and get some tools in that box. So alright, before we get into the next project here, I ended up ordering some stuff from Amazon and eBay, and it's been a little while since I've done an open box video. So we'll wait to open that one. I already opened these. I ended up getting 3 of these diesel fuel nozzles. They're like $50 some odd from Amazon. And I ended up getting the swivels from them as well. And then what you'll see here in a few minutes, we'll get that fuel tank set up. I ended up getting a it reads gallons or whatever. It's just a meter to put on the hose here so we can figure out how much fuel we're going through with this stuff when we're filling it up. So we're going to get into opening that box. Jared knows what's in it, but Roger doesn't know what's in it. So we'll set this up here. We'll just open this up quick. This is actually going to be going into one of Jared's projects here. I got this item here on eBay. Them items I got on Amazon. You should be opening this. It's actually for you. Alright, why don't you open it? I'll run the camera. Alright, this is a sleeve puller. The garage that we deal with up in Atisco, P&M Diesel, they've got one just like it. And I ended up ordering this one from eBay. It was like $700 and some odd dollars. Oh, great. They got a mess of that crap. Here. So, looks like we've got some extra feet here to come up against the sleeve itself. Oh, I hate that crap, you know that? Alright, so that is the guy there. And you'll see some demonstrations of this here a little later on. Actually, it'll probably be in a different video. But maybe we'll show a sneak peek of this thing working. Jared's been kind of videoing his project that he's got going on with his 4620s, rebuilding the engine and that. The sleeves that are in it will not come out, and it's kind of a neat little fact about that engine. We found out that it's got all the original components in it. He took the head down to Syracuse crank, and there was some stamps and stuff on the bolts that were, what do you say? They were
bearings.
Original.
Yeah, original 71 main bearings and rod bearings and everything.
Yeah.
Pistons.
So Jared ended up getting 2 sleeves out of that engine. He lifted them out with a forklift. He made up a piece of flat stock that comes just across the bottom of the sleeve with a threaded rod, and then he hooked a clevis on it. And he's got 2 of them pulled out, but I said we're going to break something doing it this way. So I said I'm going to find out what the guys use up the P&M Diesel, and that's what they use, is this guy here. So now we've got the actual tool to do it with, and hopefully it'll last a lifetime here. So let's go ahead and get on with the rest of the stuff we have going on for the day here, and I thought I'd just kind of share with you this tool here. So we'll show you here in a little while what it looks like. I'll probably have Jared video one sleeve coming out or something. So Alright, we've got our trash pump mounted to the back right hand corner of the truck bed. Now we've got two different tanks on this truck and two different pumps. So this one is for the 2x2, which is a 30, I think it's a 3,100 gallon tank. And then this pump on this side is for the tank up on the front here. I think that's like 700 gallon or something like that. And that is the fertilizer that we use in furrow. Some guys call it pop-up, whatever. That's a 700 gallon tank, and this is a 300 or a 3,000, like I said. So we're in next door here. We're working on the fuel tank. We ended up buying this tank from Tim. He had it kicking around his shop here. So we got a 12 volt pump that we're going to put on there. There was a hand pump that came off in there. So we're going to get this 12 volt pump mounted up, and then we're going to throw this tank in the back of my truck. So we just got to hook up a few things here, and that hose is not going to be long enough. I got to get another hose to add on to that one. So let's go ahead and get this all mounted up here.
As you can see, my liner puller finally has shown up. We got it all set up in here. Ready to pull some liners. I already cheated. I pulled this one out with it. This first one here. These two I pulled out with the forklift with a makeshift tool thing that I had, but it was looking a little sketchy even for me. So we decided we should probably just get the tool. Yeah, so we're gonna pull some of these liners out. These liners have been in here. They are a wet liner. You guys can't see anything. They are a wet sleeve, wet liner, whatever. But they've been in here since '71. Everything on this motor was original, believe it or not. Here, I'll even show down the barrel maybe. You can see this thing is not in good shape. But everything out of this tractor was original. Main bearings, liners, pistons, rods, all that good stuff. But these liners have seen better days. All the cross hatchings are gone. You can kind of see a remnant of them here on the bottom side where the you know, the piston never went down that far. Kind of make them out, but yeah, they are worn out. That is for sure. They are worn out, past due, and it's not looking kind of crummy in here too. We're gonna have to clean that all up real good. But yeah, everything had original stampings on them. Syracuse Crank called me. Main bearings, rod bearings, everything had original 1971 stampings on it. This tractor has, they need a step. We're gonna have to do some climbing. I think this tractor's got like 6,000 hours on it. Let's see. What does it say? 5,600. Yeah, just about 5,600. Oh, 5636. Anyway, I don't know if this tractor's turned over or not. I'm guessing it has. No way these are original. I'm guessing this tractor has turned over before. But if that is the case, then this is a 15,000 hour original motor. Kind of impressive that no one's ever touched this. This thing was just a complete, yeah, just a complete untouched motor. No one's been in it at all. Even the head gasket, I think, was original. But yeah, we're gonna pull some of these out. I'll let you guys watch. This one was really stubborn. This is the one that I finally gave up on my forklift debacle here, and yeah, that one is really stuck. So we'll get some good video of that. This thing works pretty good. Seemed to pull them out with little to no effort. Gotta make sure it's not hitting on anything important down there, because whatever if it's not grabbing the liner, grabbing something it shouldn't be, and it comes up through and breaks it off, mars it up, whatever, you're not gonna have a good day. Might be looking for a block. Do something like that, but looks like we're in the clear. Looks and feels like we're in the clear. Just like that. Just like that, not much effort at all put into it. Kind of makes it look easy, but they are stuck in there, I promise. Sometimes with a wet sleeve, since they're just O-ringed on the bottom, you can just pound on them with a hard block of wood or something and they'll just pop out, but these things are stuck. This tractor is just as stubborn as I am, so, which is great. So we'll pull the rest of them out. Probably put this on a, I don't know how to put this camera on a fast loop. Maybe I'll just video the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. We'll set you back up there though. But we got 2 more to go. Doesn't look like it's gonna take much longer. They're coming out pretty easy with this thing. But it's got all sorts of different feet that you can put on it. We got the smaller ones for the John Deere liner, because you don't, the liner, the liner sits on there like that. See, you don't want too much protruding out from the side of the liner and have it get into your block. Then you're gonna have a bad day if you do that. They have different feet. I think I have them over here. They have a wider one. They have different length legs here. Go on the side of this thing. If you got a longer liner, like something out of like a 15 liter or something, you know, this is just a little 6 liter 404, so not too big. But if you got something like a 3406 cat or something like that, something with a longer liner or whatever, you can reach down in further. I'm sure this thing would do a lot of different motors. But yep, you got these shorter legs, go on the side for that, and then you got a shorter bolt go down through the middle as well. You got your little feeder in the bag here, so I can get them out. Yeah, little feet, a little wider, a little more aggressive. They would be, well, they'd be out there like that. They'd be sticking out past the liner. I don't know if that would really get into the block at all or not, but I'm sure it might. I'm sure it might catch, knowing my luck. So I just put the skinnier ones on it. Let me just set this back up. Pull another one. Go. Oh, that one came out a little harder. That one's really crusted. Well, that's it. Easy as that. A lot better than using my makeshift forklift method, but they're all out. None of them look good. None of them look good. Make sure we get all the O-rings out of there. Got to clean everything up. Got a rebuild kit coming from Syracuse Crank for this thing. I think we're gonna run high compression pistons in it, I guess. They're for starting. They're not really any more high performance. They might gain you a little, but basically they're to help you start. These 404s weren't known for starting very well in the winter, and to fix that, guys like to put those high compression pistons in them. They'll start down to 0 degrees pretty well, just like that. So that's what we're gonna run in this thing. Not that I really need this thing to start at 0 degrees, but you know, it's nice to have. It is nice to have.
Alright, I ordered some extra fuel hose. The other day there, I actually ordered 3 lengths of 3/4 inch hose, and that hasn't come in yet. So we're just gonna run with this one hose for now. Now this pump here that I bought, it came with an automatic shut-off nozzle. We're gonna take that little hook off in there. And what you're supposed to be able to do is park this damn thing here up in there, and it's supposed to hook on there, but I don't know if anybody's ever used these before, but I've had them damn hooks come off before, and they end up falling down in the fuel tank, so, of whatever you're filling. So we're gonna hook this up the way it is, and then we'll just have to take it apart and put our additional hose on there. Now, Jared ended up videoing this liner puller here. I haven't actually seen it yet because that's on the other camera, but he's got his 6 liners sitting there. What'd you guys seem to think of that puller there? I've got a little footage from when we tried pulling the 3rd one out with the forklift, and they would just, it didn't want to come, and I figured we were going to break something, or we were going to end up getting smacked in the face with a chain or something. So he's just going to be working on this tractor hit and miss when he's got time, but he's going to be putting videos together as he goes along, and that'll be his video series, if you will. So let's get this hose on this tank and get this tank in the back of the truck. Alright, we've got the pump into the tank. That's mounted on the tank, rather. And then we've got the hose mounted onto the pump. Now, we've been using these swivels here for quite some time. They actually save on your hose. It doesn't allow this hose to get all kinked up and everything, and then this is just a meter so I can keep an eye on how much fuel I'm using, whether I'm trying to keep track of fuel I'm burning per hour or just how much is left in the tank. So this is on a swivel here. It's like you see that like that. So this would make this stick off of here quite a ways if I didn't have this on the drop down of the swivel, but I want to be able to mount this on the, this is going to be towards the rear of the truck, and then if I've got bags of corn or whatever coming up against here, it's not going to break this off. If that wasn't hooked up like that, it'd be sticking way out to here. So I also put a swivel up on the nozzle end itself. That'll keep that from kinking as well. I don't know how long this hose is, 10 or 12 feet, but we're going to put another length on there just so that we don't have to get so close to a piece of equipment, especially the combine. You got to go up into the engine compartment to fill it with fuel, and it's just better to have a longer hose. So let's go ahead and get this into the back of the truck. Alright, you might be wondering what this is all about here. I ended up putting the toolbox back in this truck. I had this toolbox ever since this truck was new. I had it out of the truck because we had a fuel tank in here for the past couple years, and the toolbox lid was kind of screwed up, so I just got done fixing that. I mounted the toolbox back in here. What I want to do is I want to push this fuel tank as close to that toolbox as I can get it without it touching the toolbox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 6x6s underneath the toolbox. They'll just fit underneath it, and then we're going to put a plank on the back of them, and then that's going to give us a good gap between the toolbox and the fuel tank. Therefore, I won't have to worry about the tank being slid forward and hitting the toolbox. Now, when I first got this truck, I ended up putting a board in the stake pocket. There's one right there, and then there's one here. And I had a 2x12 in there just to keep crap from hitting the toolbox so that I didn't have this all dented up. And that worked pretty good, but I'm going to lose 11 inches. If I put this fuel tank in here, I ought to be able to get the fuel tank crossways. It's going to come to about here, and I'll have enough room to get a pallet of seed in the back of the truck. So let's go ahead and slam these 6x6s underneath the toolbox of the truck. Nail that, what is that, a 2x10 onto there, and then we'll have a good gap between the toolbox and the fuel tank. Alright, get this board up in there. 6x6s are underneath the toolbox. They fit very nicely. And then I've got my 2x10 there. It looks like I gotta be about that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, that's about centered there. Now we're just gonna slam some 16 penny nails into that. And we'll just slam a couple of these in there. This will just keep this board from swimming around. And it'll also keep the 6x6s from moving around as well. That should protect the toolbox from the fuel tank. So let's go over next door. We got the fuel tank in that bay on the other side of this tractor and the truck here. And we'll get this fuel tank in here. It's about gonna do it for this video here too. Alright, so let's go put the wraps on this fuel tank job on this truck. We put the toolbox in there, got the fuel tank on, we've got it strapped down. And I've got it wired direct into the battery on the truck with a fusible link and all that crap. Now, can anybody see anything that we didn't do right here? The one thing that I have left to do, and I couldn't get one the other day, I've got to get a filter head for it so I could put a fuel filter on this tank. We've got fuel filters on all of our other transfer tanks. Now, usually a pallet of seed is roughly 54 inches long, and 54 inches is right to there, so I'm going to have enough room. I'm going to have to leave the tailgate open, but I ought to be able to get a pallet of seed in the back of the truck here without any problem. We can carry 2 pallets of seed on the fertilizer truck. There's just enough room in front of that one fertilizer tank there. So we've got one thing left to do to this truck here, and these Sterlings are kind of built a little cheap here. They've got I guess it's a plastic hood. I don't even know if I can call it fiberglass, but they've got a metal saddle that's on each side, and it comes down onto this rubber molding piece here, and that's kind of what the hood rides on. That one over there come off. We had it riveted on. However, there's not enough material left to rivet to there. So what we're going to use is some panel bonding adhesive, and we're just going to glue that metal saddle to the fender on the other side, and that's going to wrap things up here for tonight. So we'll get you guys set up. This is the stuff that we're going to use here. It is a 3M product, and it works pretty good. You can stick anything to anything. So we'll go ahead and get this thing on there. All right, so we've got this piece all cleaned up. Just ran a Scotch-Brite pad over it, like one of these things here. We've got our gun all loaded here. Just going to screw on the little nozzle here. And then when this stuff comes out of the gun, it's going to be pre-mixed. So we'll go ahead and squirt a bunch of that on there, and then we'll push our piece of metal on it and use a vice grip clamp to kind of hold it in place. I'm going to cut a little bit of this off here. There. Alright, so I'm going to release the gun, pull that back, set this over here out of the way, grab my piece of metal, just kind of stick that into place, put my vice grip on it, and we can leave this for tonight. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is just kind of fill some of this in here too. Maybe it'll help it, I don't know. Almost like putting a bead of weld on. We're overdoing it big time. There! Oh, I don't know how much I've used. I guess I used almost this whole thing. But it is what it is. So we'll let that sit overnight, and hopefully it kind of stays there. But that is going to be real strong. That's kind of, this is what they use to glue panels on cars, and on their chopper. Some of the hinge brackets are actually glued on. And what you can do with this stuff here, if you needed to have a threaded hole in a piece of body molding or something, you can actually put a bolt into it, glue the bolt into place, and then screw the bolt out, and you've got threads in the gluing that you've done. So That's gonna do her, I guess. Alright, we are into the following day now. It's been about 14 hours or so since we glued this on there. We removed the clamp. And this seems really solid. So, we haven't had much experience with that panel bonding material. But that is supposed to be some real good stuff from 3M. So this is all glued on there. So me and Junior are going to go chisel plowing now. That's going to do it for this video. So I want to thank you for watching. Remember to leave me a thumbs up, folks. Drop me a comment down below, and we will catch you at the next video.